All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Hello to the celebration of however many subscribers there are right now, because after all, every one of them is a milestone. So thank you for being here. This is for you. This special cake that I made. Well, hang on a second. I forgot. One second. That I made using the G.I. Joe Hawk cake pan that I got from Peg Warmers. So, and look at this. I have show notes. You know what is not in my show notes? Cake. Cake was the main reason for the show, and I forgot to put cake in my show notes. So, yes, a 2-camera shoot, because I want to slice this cake for you guys. Plus, I wanted to test this new camera, this 2-camera setup that I got going here. But this episode is brought to you by Peg Warmers. Kevin from Peg Warmers sent me this, and I used it to make this masterpiece of a cake. Isn't it beautiful? It turned out absolutely perfectly. Nobody could have done it better. Not even Rachel Ray. Is Rachel Ray still doing things? I don't even know if Rachel... But even if Rachel Ray is still cooking, she could not have done a better job than this right here, this hawk cake. Look at this. Look at this. You almost think that's a human being in front of you. That it's so lifelike. Hello, Marianne. Hello there. Yes, the camera too is my phone. Actually, it's a much better camera than my laptop webcam. But I got see if this works, if this 2-camera setup works here, then I will use it for more things. One thing that StreamYard does really well is it makes the 2-camera setup remarkably easy. So. Hello to a special hello to Marianne, who slipped by. There's Marianne. She did stop by here earlier today. She said it looks like but yeah, well, I can see, but you see, it's not feathers. This is not feathers. That is a sunburst behind Hawk, like an explosion of light behind Hawk. So, and let's also give our condolences to Marianne, who got called for jury duty this week. So, so congratulations on Marianne for doing her duty. She said it does not look like it. See, it exactly. It looks look that that's the spitting image, like that. It looks like one of the. It looks like one of the animation cells from the cartoon, and it turned out. Look. Let's see. Turned out exactly like that. See. Funny. It's funny that first of all, hi, Chris. From Comic Tropes, Chris from Comic Tropes. Today happens to be Kirk Bozigian's birthday, and Kirk Bozigian was the model for Law, and this could have been a Law cake, but I didn't actually realize that it was his birthday when I made it. All I would have to do to make this a Law cake instead of a Hawk cake is just change the colors. Well, maybe next time though. Next year we'll do a Law cake, but for now it's a Hawk cake. So this segues nicely. Look, this is professional here. This is how the pros do it. This segues nicely because I had a nice sit down conversation with Peg Warmers about Super 7 O-Ring G.I. Joe, and that episode is going to go up tomorrow on the Peg Warmers channel. There is a link in the description of this live stream. So yes, it does taste like freedom. At least I hope so. I suspect it's gonna taste more like kitchen sponge. So as you can see, as you can see, it turned out beautiful. Let me move this over somewhere where I'll put it right there. This turned out beautiful. So it's very rare. It's very rare that a cake both looks good and tastes good. That's quite a challenge. I'm no baker. All right, I'm not on your great British baking show or whatever the heck. I'm no baker. So I was able to produce. I almost got my phone in it. I was able to produce this gorgeous work of art. So it's just too much to ask that it also tastes good. But we'll see. We'll give it a try. Thank you again, Peg Warmers, for the cake pan. It worked perfectly, as you can see. Thank you also to Kevin for sitting down and talking with me about Super 7. So I look forward to that episode going up. I'll share that. Before we cut the cake, but we cut the cheese. But before we cut the cheese, before I cut the cheese or the cake, I want to remind everybody that it's Tuesday, which means there's a new episode of Half the Battle. This time he reviewed Classified Bazooka. Classified Bazooka, who looks like he ought to be wearing a number 87 rather than a number 14. But always check out Half the Battle. I never miss an episode of Timmer's show. Thank you for the super chat, Chris from Comic Tropes. Remember to tap that thumbs up, a like button, and help the channel. Thank you. See, and here's how you do that. YouTube has a new way of doing the thumbs up. You actually tap it on the screen. So the way it works is I put the thumbs up on the screen, and you just reach out and tap your screen, and like this. Like there's the thumbs up, and you're gonna reach out. You're gonna reach out and tap it, and tap your screen. And that's it. I'm pretty sure it works that way. I don't know. I saw something about it online, and I trust everything I see on the internet. So we're gonna cut this cake. Before we cut the cake, I want to remind everybody that What's on Joe Mind is live after this show. There is also a link to What's on Joe Mind in the description. So as soon as I wrap up this show, you can roll right over to What's on Joe Mind and catch up with them. But thanks everyone for being here. There's Rob says no thumbs up, and again, well, I actually since we are celebrating, what was it, 17,000 something subscribers, however many subscribers we have, we're celebrating. So what I was going to do is I was going to cut this cake up and send a slice to each and every one of you. So I do need to cut this cake into 17 thousandths, but I think, first of all, I'm going to have a slice for myself, a larger slice. I'm going to have a larger slice for myself, and I'm going to have a larger slice for Marianne because, quite frankly, she deserves it. Hey there, Bart. That's right. It is the Hooded Cake Boss 788. That's the new channel name. And as you can see, I nailed this. Nailed it. Could not have been done better, even by Rachel Ray. Rachel Ray could not have done better. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to take this big ass knife, and I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this sunburst in the background. I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna cut that out, and I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this for Marianne because you are my sunshine. So Marianne is my sunshine, as the song goes. So she gets the sunburst. Yes, to HCB. This is for Marianne. That's for Marianne. If you're, in case you were wondering if this is the blonde hawk, somebody brought this up on Instagram. Is this the blonde hawk or is this the brown haired block? Well, that's yellow cake there, right? That's yellow cake there, right? So I guess that's got to be the blonde hawk. So and for my part, since I am the head of this organization, the head of this operation, I get to take the head. So let's just take this little slice here for me, and I've got a plate here. Let me see, get this on the plate. Yeah. Oh, what the heck? There we go. So let's. How do we store a knife? Something like. There we go. It's something like that. That'll hold. So I got my cake here, and I didn't get anything to eat the cake. And you know what else? I don't have ice cream. I didn't realize until we started that I don't have ice cream. I have no ice cream for this cake. So anyway, this cake is for everyone. So I'll first of all, let me taste test this this yellow cake here. It's very kitchen sponge like. Basically, if I had cut up a bunch of kitchen sponges and put icing on top of them, would have tasted at least this good. So Hawk's fallen into a coma. Thank you, Chris. See, now here's what we're gonna do, and I'll get started on this. I'll have to finish it after the show, because obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this cake into 17,000 pieces, 17,500 and whatever pieces, and I'm just going to send you all each one individually. So wait, do I gotta? No, what's this envelope here? No, I can't use that. But don't worry, I'll get some envelopes. And I'll send those to you. And you don't have to don't give me your address. Don't worry about that. I'll just send it to you. The post office will know how to get it to you. But just each 17,000 of you, just check your mailboxes. Check your mailboxes. Wish in one hand and check your mailbox with the other, and you might see which one gets filled first. So there you go. So this is for me, as the head of the organization. This is for me, and as my sunshine, this is for Marianne, and cheers to everyone, and happy 17,000 whatever subscribers to each and every one of you. Clink. That's that sure is whatever it is. So yeah, we'll turn to the cake. Oh, that's actually not bad. That's, you know what? It's a better cake than I thought it would be. Hawk, you're delicious, boss. So I guess we don't need this. Need this right now. We can return to the regular view. But thank you, everyone. Bart wants a corner piece. Okay, here. Let's. I'll take off just a piece of shoulder here for Bart. There we go. That's there's Bart's piece right there. Bart, I'll just put you over here. I'll set you aside. And now I can't push any buttons. Look at this. Look at this mess. So hi everyone. How's it going? Okay. I have stuff to talk about. I guess I can get this out of the way. Now, since I set up this 2-camera system, and since it seems to work, what I'd like to do in the future is use that to do a live sketch. I haven't done a live sketch in ages because I couldn't really get the 2-camera setup to work very well. So yeah, I just thought it would. This could be a method where I could do some live drawing. Hey, Matt, how you do? Dinner is served. Yeah, so we're having a hawk head cake. That's Yojo. So I have some things to talk about. Good things. And thank you for the super chat, Matt Rubin, and thank you for announcing that dinner is served. To quote the Thin Man, you may serve the nuts. I have a vote. There's a poll going on Patreon right now to choose what may be the last review that I do this year. I'd like to do at least one more, but the time is getting away from me, and the time I actually have to work on videos is still being quite compressed. So I'm trying to use every minute of free time possible to get things done. There's a poll going up, and I thought I have the poll options. Let me pull them out here to remind everybody what we're voting for. The future of the country could be at stake. So here we go. So option one, and the poll is on Patreon if you're so inclined, but option one, a figure from 1993, a surprisingly realistic-looking military figure from 1993, Duke version 4, in his desert camo and his molded-on helmet. It's a really interesting figure, and if it wins, I have an idea of what I would do with the review. But that's option one. Option two is Muskrat version 3. Now, this looks just like Muskrat, doesn't it? I mean, you just look at this guy and you think, oh, yeah, that's Muskrat. Sure as heck is. So this is going to be fun, especially looking at the accessories if this one wins. The option 3 is version 2 of our old pal Zap. And this is Zap as we kind of expected him to look from the beginning. He's got the mustache. He does not have the generic 82 head that all those 82 guys had. But he also has like silver from head to toe. Look at all that silver. So that is option 3. So those are happening. Those are going. The poll is on Patreon. I won't say who's winning right now. If you're on Patreon, you already know. It's a surprising result so far, but there are still plenty of votes to be counted before we determine a winner. So it could swing in any direction right now. It could swing in any direction. Brian says Muskrat is brave to wear that shade of orange into combat. Yes, that's true. He's also brave to go into combat with the weapons that he comes with. It's pretty special. So that's okay. You know what? I got a pen here. I can check off the items on my notes to remember to talk about on the show as we go. So peg warmers, don't forget that. That's important. Timmer, don't forget Timmer. What's on Joe mind? Don't forget what's on Joe mind. Vote. Don't forget to vote. Voting is very important. The other thing I want to do. So this gentleman here. Hello JLS Comics. It's quite the gentleman. Not the gentleman I was aiming at. This gentleman here. He sent something that I thought you guys might find fun. He created and sent. Let's see. Where is it? There we go. It's Alistair the Cat's file card, and I thought this was delightful. Alistair is actually like, where is he? The cats were over here until I started recording, and then they made themselves scarce. Where are you guys? Oh, there's one sleeping over. Anyway, so yes, it's Alistair's file card, and this is a quite a nice picture of Alistair. Very, very good likeness. So Alistair's a black cat who loves to explore and has an insatiable curiosity for all things G.I. Joe. He does indeed. He has an insatiable curiosity for all other things as well. He's an excellent hunter, able to locate and attack his targets in an instant. Alistair is a great companion and loves to be around people. He does warm up to them. He is loyal and affectionate to those who care for him, but he can be quite mischievous when it comes to Hoodie Coco G.I. Joe collection. Yes, I've had to protect my collection from him. In fact, I changed my method of doing reviews so that the items that I have out for the review are safe from cats. Alistair loves to be rewarded with treats and affection. Alistair also loves to sleep in the sun and can often be found curled up in a sunny spot, napping away the afternoon. That is also true when he's not dancing for What's on Your Mind or watching half the battle. Yeah, see, he's quite the showman. Alistair's favorite pastime is to sneak on HCC788's G.I. Joe figures and tear them apart. You know, I got where is it? The cats had been. Oh, it's not here. The cats had been because I had some of the Dreadnoks out when I was doing my Zartan review. The cats got a hold of Zanzibar. I think because of the hair, the play hair, they really liked Zanzibar. So I kept finding the Zanzibar figure like dragged out at different parts of the house. So I had to finally put that away because the cats were having quite a nice time with it. Leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. That's very true. He's known to carry away pieces of the destroyed figures and hide them around the house. You know, he had some fun with some accessories too. Figure stands. Like all three of the cats love playing with figure stands. They will bat those things all around the place. Loves to bat and pounce on them, as well as use his sharp claws to shred them. Is always ready to take on a new challenge. My highlighted comment is covering the rest of the yes, Alistair's always ready to take on a new challenge. So first of all, thank you. That was very thoughtful. That was a lot of fun. And it's fairly accurate description of Alistair, who was, you know, he was all over the place earlier. He was like, you know how Alistair always used to like jump up here and show up on screen when I was doing the live stream. Now he's doing the opposite. Now he's up here when there's nothing going on. But then once I get started, he like makes himself scarce. I don't even see him right now. I have no idea where he is. We'll get him back on the show. I'll talk to his agent. We'll get him back on the show. It'll be great. It'll be fine. But thank you for that, Zaymot. It was very clever. I enjoyed that very much. And so did Alistair. I showed Alistair, you know, cats, they're indifferent. You know, you can't get them excited about anything. That is true. I do have to give him credit. Alistair has calmed down a lot since I got the kittens. So I got 2 kittens. Audrey named them Lemon and Lime. They look almost exactly alike. We have different colored collars on them. That's the only way I can tell the difference. But ever since we got the kittens, Alistair has he's chilled out. He's a much more content cat. You know, he likes having other cats around. So it's been good. Oh, hello. Just saying hi. Hello, White Vegeta. Nice to see you. And Pegwarmer says, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Thank you, Pegwarmers. And also, we will be we'll be showing some Pegwarmers tomorrow. The episode that I did with Kevin should go up tomorrow. And don't forget to hit the like button on that as well. That is something that the Sprite Twins, yeah. So we talk about Patreon sometimes because Patreon makes a big difference. Sometimes I've had to use Patreon to afford some of the things that I review on this channel. I wouldn't have been able to do it without Patreon. Other times I've had to use Patreon funds to supplement my income because I really needed to. Patreon is important, but not everybody is able to or wants to get on Patreon, and that's fine. If you want to support a channel, this channel, anyone else's, Pegwarmers, Comic Tropes, you can do that for free. It doesn't cost anything. Just, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, watch the video through. These things take nothing more than a little bit of your time. They cost nothing, and they really do help out a lot. So as you're watching Peg Warmers tomorrow, or some of these other great folks who have awesome YouTube channels like well, I clicked on Bad Ape, but Bad Ape said yummy cake. So yes, it is. It's actually not bad. But your JLS Comicses and your Comic Tropeses and these other guys, it doesn't cost, or even for instance your Cujo or Sparkster, another example, and your Cujo, and your Rob Vegas's. The point is, oh yes. Yeah, thank you. Half the battle. We can't forget Timmer. Timmer has hit some of his subscriber goals this year, so congratulations, Timmer. Yeah, watching a video, liking a video, making a comment, it doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help out the content creators. I deeply appreciate everything that Patreon supporters could do, and I'm doing everything I can to try to give them something extra. But I'm extremely grateful for everyone that's here, whether you support the channel on Patreon or not. Really, even if you're subscribed or not, the fact that you're here means that at least we have at least one common interest, and maybe we can have some fun talking about it. Maybe we can enjoy discussing it. But if you like this kind of content and you'd like to help me continue doing it, the easiest way to support it is to just watch. Just click one button. Maybe click two buttons if you want to subscribe. These things, in the world of algorithms, which is the world we apparently live in now. It's now all algorithms. These things tell the algorithm that people are interested. So I encourage you to do that. I mean, with this channel, if you'd like to, but whether it's with this channel or not, with any channel that you like, just give them a click, give them a thumbs up, give them some kind of interaction that will tell the algorithm gods that you're actually interested in this stuff, and it really goes a long way. $0, and it helps out a lot. So thank you, and thank you for listening to my speech. Wait a second, I'm not done with the speech. There is something. Thumbs up for living in a world driven by the algorithm. This is something that I have a conflict, and I'm just gonna throw this conflict out there so you guys can feel the conflict that is conflicting me. Right? I gotta have some cake for that. I gotta. It's that much conflict. The conflict is this. Oh, hello, Explorizo. Hello, Craig. I think I said hello to Bad A, but hello again. Hello, the 80s guy. Hello, JoeFan84. And hello, Mr. S, if you're there. Hello, Matthew Matson. Here's the conflict. The conflict is if you don't at least pay attention to the algorithm and do a few things that make the algorithm happy so that your videos are pushed to people's recommended feeds, because that's how a lot of people find videos now. It's not so much through subscriptions as through their recommended feeds. Well, getting pushed to the recommended feeds that's your lifeblood, and it's YouTube's algorithm that decides what is and what isn't. So to even be seen, you have to at least pay attention to things that make the algorithm happy, such as upload frequencies, such as views, such as interactions like comments and thumbs up and shares and things like that. So those things are important, and so I feel like I have to do at least some of those things. But the conflict is this: I don't make my show for the algorithm. I just can't do it. There are lots of shows that do. There are lots of channels that do. There are content mills out there. They produce cheap, lazy stuff as quickly as they can. I mean, there are shows out there. I mean, you can tell that they are making content to maximize the push to recommended feeds. They hit certain beats, and it's not necessarily a natural flow for the audience. It's the way they want it to flow to get somebody to the next, mid-roll ads, for example. And while there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, I mean, people got to make a living, right? And if you're going to do this kind of work for a living, you gotta play the game as the game is being played. But I didn't start making videos so that I could please a YouTube algorithm. I've always made videos for my audience. So that's where the conflict is. I can't do the things that I know need to be done in order for robots to notice the channel and push it in front of people's faces. I can't bring myself to do it. On the other hand, I have to at least do it a little bit, because we've got some big things coming up in 2014. We're already starting some Cobra Convergence planning for 2024, and I need everybody to see it. I need every G.I. Joe fan to be aware of it. Every single G.I. Joe fan everywhere needs to know what we're doing in 2024 for Cobra Convergence Hate, and I can't make that happen unless I'm massaging the algorithm at least a little. But my pledge to you, though, is that whatever algorithm whoring that I have to do, I'm sorry, I had to say a bad word. I got to say a bad word. All right, whore. Whatever algorithm whoring I have to do, I will not transform the channel into a content mill. I have to watch, or I have to make the videos for the people who actually watch it. The people who are in here, people who are in this live chat, like hello, Kiwi G.I. Joe Customs and Collection. Nice to see you. Yeah, we got a pretty good crowd, and Zaymod and Sparkster and Ratface. Ratface is looking forward to Cobra Convergence, and there's another participant right there, Rob Vegas. So yeah, we've got big things going. We've got big things coming up in 2024, and I would really like to deliver, some results for the people who are involved, for the people who donate their work for Cobra Convergence. I want people to notice it. So, for those reasons, I have to be at least a little more algorithm friendly. But I tell you, it really grates on me. I just don't want to be that kind of show. I don't like watching those kind of shows. Those are the kind of shows that once I see it's that kind of show, I don't watch that show anymore. So I don't want to be that. I don't want to be it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to produce that kind of content. So that's my conflict. That's my conflict. We'll see. We'll see if I can thread the needle. We'll see if I can walk the tightrope. We'll see. I'll do the best I can. That's all I can say. You've got to make your own special music. Sing your own special song. You mean You want me to write the theme tune, sing the theme tune? People, now that's a fine idea, but people actually pay me to not sing. So I guess I gotta have to find some way around that. OnlyFans kind of show. Well, I don't know from OnlyFans. I guess it would be OnlyFans here. I assume that's what you mean. Not that kind of algorithm whoring. Not quite that far. So thank you everyone for sitting through our conversation about whoring. Now let's talk about HasLab. For whom I'm absolutely not whoring. I did get the notice that the HasLab His Tank is on the way. My HasLab His Tank has been sent, and I should receive it pretty soon. Now that interferes a little bit because I've got a Classic Friday episode coming up. I've got a classified episode or Classic Friday episode planned for after that, but the second one may have to wait because, I may need to review a giant His Tank in between there. So the HasLab His Tank, I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, I like the His Tank, but there's a Ron Rudat inspired color variation on the His driver that I'm really excited to get. I love that they brought Ron Rudat back to do some box art, to inspire, a color variation on a classified figure. I really like the respect that they have for the classic team, for the foundation of G.I. Joe from the 80s. And by bringing Ron back, I think that's a beautiful way to show that kind of respect. So I'm really excited about that. As with the HasLab, well, right here it is. As with the HasLab Sky Striker, we'll just see. As far as whether I like it or not, we'll find out. As you may remember, when I got the HasLab Sky Striker, at first I liked it. I opened the box, and then I realized that the engines were missing. Engines missing from the box. Well, I did report it, and they did send the missing engines. And upon assembling it, I did end up overall liking it still. The engine debacle did kind of rain on my parade a little bit. It did kind of affect how much I actually enjoyed the HasLab Sky Striker. So that turned out to be kind of a middle of the road thing. It's like I enjoyed it, and then I was disappointed because they really, you got to include all the parts. That's pretty basic. And then I ended up kind of in the middle, somewhat enjoying it a little bit more as I put the thing together. So as for whether or not I like the His Tank, it's going to depend on what comes out of the box. If it is as good as it looks, I should like it. But everything. It always depends on what comes out of the box. So that will be soon. It's apparently on its way. So if it gets here before the next class, okay, the next Classic Friday is this Friday. There's a classified review coming up this Friday. And that's going regardless. If the HasLab His Tank comes in before the next Friday, which it should, then that will be the Classic Friday episode after that. So just to give you an idea of the schedule. And don't forget, there is the vote going on Patreon, and that review, whichever action figure wins that review will go up on the 17th, I believe. So that's just to give you an overall idea of the schedule. So we've got Classic Fridays coming up, probably at least for 3 weeks in a row. So if you I know that some folks have been really wanting me to get back to Classic Friday. Classic Fridays or the G.I. Joe Classified series is fairly hot right now. It's doing well. It's doing well, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. But I haven't really looked at it very often. So I am getting back to those. We will probably be doing a Classic Friday 3 weeks in a row, and that's kind of the schedule to look forward to. What else? Oh yeah, well, okay. This doesn't necessarily have to do with any of that, but I got some more volumes of Creating G.I. Joe. Just FYI, I ended up getting 3 more volumes recently. So this is, well, the most recent volume that was published is volume 13. So if you haven't checked out creatinggijoe.com, Dan Klingensmith's, there's a name, Dan Klingensmith's series, showing lots of pre-production information and artwork on G.I. Joe. This stuff is really cool and extremely valuable to me as a print research material. And just by coincidence, I ended up getting 3 volumes. I still don't have the whole set, but I like to pick up a volume, every time I see Dan at a convention, which is usually at Joe Fest, or I'll pick up a volume as I need it. I do have most of them now. So I have volume 7 now, which, as you can see, includes Destro. So if you'd like to know, like, some information about the design and creation of Destro, along with a lot of other stuff, that's volume 7. And then this one, volume 6, well, there's Wild Bill. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Well, there's a lot of cool stuff in all of the volumes. Each volume covers a different group, but it's got at least a few from each year. So it's like organized by year, 1982, 83, and so on. I just love what Dan does. Those Creating G.I. Joe books are extremely valuable to collectors, to anyone who is interested in the history of G.I. Joe, which I am. So even this is not sponsored. I paid for these books. I didn't get any of these for free. In fact, I didn't get any of this stuff for free. I didn't get the HasLab, his tank, for free. I didn't get any of this stuff for free. So none of this stuff is sponsored. I'm just telling you, like, there's some good stuff going on. Some good stuff, in current G.I. Joe, but also some good stuff created by the fans. Speaking of good stuff going on G.I. Joe, okay, I don't want to go too much into the Super 7 O-Ring G.I. Joe, because I did have a conversation with Kevin about it, which will be on Peg Warmers tomorrow. But Hasbro seems to be focusing on classified. And I have to assume that Hasbro is focusing on classified because that's where the cash is. That's where the money is. That it seems to be successful enough that that it can sustain itself. So for O-Ring and for modern style figures, like modern articulation 4-inch figures, it looks like their strategy is to farm those out, to license those out to other companies, which is I think a good way to make sure that fans of O-Ring and of 4-inch G.I. Joe have some product. I felt that those parts of the fandom were underserved. Well, at least they're going to be served by some licensed product if Hasbro can't do it themselves. And Marianne is going in a minute. I'll see you later. See you later, Marianne. Remember, you're my frickin' sunshine. I'll see you later, sunshine. See you later. Bye, Marianne. What was I saying? Yeah, so for GI Joe, at least the way that it looks for now is that Hasbro is focusing on 6-inch, and then the 3 3/4 inch and 4-inch is going elsewhere, at least partially, because we did have information on a GI Joe Transformers crossover that I assume will include O-ring figures with Sergeant Slaughter, Leatherneck, and a what was it? A Cup / Triple T. So there may still be some Hasbro GI Joe O-ring figures coming in the future, but as far as O-ring goes, I mean, I'm interested. I'll probably check out the Super 7 stuff. There is a lot of really awesome third-party O-ring action figures right now. Operation Recall, Delta 17, Codename Longbow, or Call Sign Longbow. It's right up there. I could read it. There are some awesome third-party O-ring action figures out there right now. If you don't care about the rest of the stuff, you only want O-ring, and you want something new, there's a lot, and it's some of the stuff is really cool. In fact, there's some new stuff that I ought to be able to show you here in the near future. I'm working on it. That is like mind-blowing. So if you are really interested in O-ring GI Joe, then there is stuff out there, and if you're interested in O-ring figures outside of GI Joe, there is even more. So I think that's encouraging. I really do. In fact, I think it speaks well to the future of GI Joe. There are enough people interested in GI Joe right now that that you can have like multiple scales going at the same time. But it seems like the multiple scales are going at the same time, but not all from the same source. I have to assume that's because classified is what Hasbro wants to keep, and Hasbro's going to do what makes Hasbro the most money, right? So I have to assume that classified is the money maker right now, so that's what they're focusing on. But they're not leaving O-ring and modern action figure fans, 4-inch action figure fans, not leaving them twisting in the wind. There is at least an option. So that's, I think that's encouraging. At least I choose to be encouraged because everybody knows I'm an optimist, right? John says, how do I send a picture of my Joe stuff? I guess you can send it to the email address. Let me see if I can type it in here. Well, let me type it. Helps if I spell it right. My too long email address. I'm pretty sure I spelled that right. That's the email address. Yes, I'm the Optimist Prime. Everybody knows that I'm Mr. Sunshine. Look at me. Look at me. I'm Mr. Sunshine. Look. Wait. I got the sunburst. I got the sunburst in the background, just like Hawk. I'm like, I like how like Hawk isn't doing anything in the cake. He's just got his hands on his hips with a sunburst in the background. Hold on, I need another chunk of Hawk's head. Oh, good stuff. That's real good. That's real good. Sean says here, irony is that Snake Eyes movie bombed. They couldn't get the most popular G.I. Joe character to work for the G.I. Joe brand. That is something that has been a source of disappointment for me because I have to suspect that if the Snake Eyes movie had been successful, there would have been a different track. But the Snake Eyes movie wasn't successful. And this isn't like a commentary on whether the movie was good or not, if you like the movie or not, because I know some folks that really like the movie, but the point is, it didn't make money. So that's a problem in your marketing of your brand. And that's something that I don't think I don't think the brand team at Hasbro really had a lot to do with that. Those decisions would have been made at Paramount and in the Hasbro corporate office. These decisions would not have been with the same people who were, making the decisions on marketing the toys and such. But they still have to market the toys and such, right? So the Snake Eyes movie bombs, and they have to deal with it, right? They just have to deal with it. So yeah. Comic Trope says they should consider pivoting to a first-person shooter video game series. That is something that I still kind of think that the future of not just G.I. Joe, but most brands, I think the future is in entertainment somewhere more so than plastic. As long as we keep buying plastic, I think they'll still be giving us plastic. But I think the future, like the next generations, are going to be less focused on plastic than we are. And I just think that's where you have to look. Oh, hello, Cyclonus. Nice to see you, Cyclonus. He says, do you still have the same P.O. box? I do still have the same P.O. box, but a word of caution, I'm not able to check that P.O. box as often as I used to. I get there as often as I can, which is not often enough. No blame to the toy designers. Maybe if the G.I. Joe brand team were in charge of the movie, it might have done better, I'd like to see some synergy between like a movie and a video game and the toys, and I'd like to see all these working together. But I just don't see Hasbro delegating the decision making for a Hollywood film to somebody with an office in Pawtucket. I really think that the suits have to have their fingers in, right? It's always the suits. It's always the suits versus the dungarees. That's what the entire world comes down to. You have the suits versus the dungarees, and all the time the suits, they got to have their fingers in all the pies, right? The fingers in all the pies. So anyway, I have no idea where I was going with that. So anyway, my point is, don't wear a suit. Well, okay, you can wear a suit. I mean, you got to go to weddings, you got to go to funerals. Sometimes you may have to wear a suit to the office, so you can wear a suit, I guess. You can, but I'm just saying that in the ultimate war that will break out eventually, you don't want to be on the suit side. You want to be on the dungarees side. That's just what I'm saying. Because dungarees are more comfortable. Dungarees are more comfortable, therefore they will have more agility and ability to move around. So therefore they will win in the upcoming conflict. Something is wrong with my brain, in case anybody's wondering. Yes, there is something wrong with me. I'm eating a hawk head cake. Good. Anyway, so what was I saying? So I think I probably actually will wrap it up. We're about 5 minutes early, but I want to give I want to give What's on Joe Mind some time to get geared up. Plus it's been a long day. I had to bake a cake. I had to decorate a cake, this beautiful hawk cake. I did not bake the cake on the cookie sheet. I had to put, this is the only thing that I own that's large enough for this hawk. Well, you have to, hold on, you have to imagine, you know, Hawk's head was on there, so you have to just kind of imagine. It was beautiful. It was a work of art. And I created this work of art thanks to Peg Warmers, who sent the cake pan, this beautiful cake pan. Then the cake turned out exactly like this, amazing. And thanks to you, who make this whole venture possible. So, in conclusion, we've got some big stuff coming up in 2024. We are already in the planning stages of Cobra Convergence 8. We don't normally start planning Cobra Convergence until about January, but we're starting early because we have a lot coming up in 2024, and we need to be ready. So look for announcements, look for stuff. We're going to have lots of stuff. And don't forget to support your fellow fans who are out there, who are creating, who are sharing their passion and their interests, and who are putting their time and effort and creativity into something that they love. That's something that, of course, we always hope that whoever is in charge of G.I. Joe at Hasbro will also love it the way that we do. But in the end, you know, we still have our own passions. We still have our own love for this, which we have our own memories of this brand of toys, of the comic books, of the cartoons, all from our childhood, these important memories from our formative years. And regardless of who's in charge of it at Hasbro, who cares? That belongs to us. Our memories belong to us. And for some of your fellow G.I. Joe fans, their memories and their passion is strong enough that they're out there creating and doing something and trying to share what they care about. So when you see somebody out there doing that, you know, so long as it's something that you like, support it. And when the time comes to really start talking about Cobra Convergence in 2024, I want every G.I. Joe fan everywhere to know about it. I want every single one of them to know about it, whether they like it or not, whether they're interested or not. It's fine. They don't have to be interested, whatever, you know. Some people are not going to be into it, fine. But I still want them to know about it. I would like every single G.I. Joe fan everywhere to know about it, and we're going to do that together. So anyway, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. I'm gonna enjoy my hawk head cake, and I will catch you all next week. Thanks everyone, and I will see you all next week. Go watch What's on Joe Mind. Watch Half the Battle and watch Peg Warmers with me tomorrow. See you, everybody. Good night. Bye.